Yeah, here we go with another edition of the Florida Football Insiders Preview. TJ Rives, Todd Grasley. Hey, it's October.
Absolutely. The temperatures are cooling down, but the football definitely heating up in the state of Florida.
I like that. You got your sports weather cliches down. Yeah, we're not sweating to death out here on the preview show. So we've got college games, including a couple of big ones here in the state of Florida, and a couple of NFL games as well. We saw some teams take some losses last week. So Miami, for example, their first loss of the season. Buccaneers were beaten badly against the Chicago Bears. But we saw some teams also take steps forward. Florida State with the win at Louisville. We're going to talk more about them in a little bit. And that matchup coming up with Miami. What a big win for the Gators at Mississippi State. Back-to-back wins on the road for them in SEC play. So there's some teams that definitely made surprise. Jaguars bounce back after the awful game with the Titans. I know you're going to talk Jaguars Chiefs, Todd, coming up in a little bit, but they bounced back last week and looked fantastic at home with the New York Jets.
Absolutely, and the Gators will face a tough test in LSU. Their quarterback as well, a stingy defense. So we'll see if Felipe Franks can score some points in the rest of that offense and make it 3 in a row, and that would be big for Dan Mullen and the Gators.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the college schedule here and take a look at the games. A lot of them in the afternoon. That Florida-LSU game, 3:30 at the Swamp. LSU undefeated and ranked number 4 in the country. This game always seems like it has one of the teams ranked in the top 10, if not a couple of them, in the top 25 or in the top 10. Florida State, Miami at the same time. What in the name of my television remote control are we doing having FSU play at the same time as Florida? And oh, by the way, on the schedule, as you see there too, USF and UMass, same time at 3:30. I got to have like extra remotes, extra screens, extra eyeballs.
That's right. That's when you use the split screen feature and you can watch all three at one time.
Or have multiple, the iPad, the phone, or whatever it is. Okay, UCF at night, thankfully, so that one is separated against SMU. And again, because 2 of the teams are playing each other, there's 4 games for this weekend. So there are the matchups that are coming, 3 in the afternoon and 1 coming on Saturday night.
A new week, same result for UCF as they dismantled Pittsburgh 45-14 behind another stellar showing from quarterback Mackenzie Milton. 6 touchdowns once again, 4 through the air, 2 on the ground. And if SMU wants to stop this night's high-powered offensive attack, they're going to have to do it with defense, and more defense. It's going to be a tough challenge. SMU has only beaten UCF once in the last 8 meetings, that meeting coming back in 2011 in Dallas. The Florida Gators jump back into the top 25 rankings after back-to-back wins on the road at Tennessee and Mississippi State. But Gator fans don't rest easy. The LSU Tigers, ranked 5th in the country and undefeated at 5-0, come to the Swamp. Joe Burrow's at the helm, and he has a slew of offensive weapons, but I think this game comes down to defense as well. The last time these two teams met last year in Gainesville due to the hurricane, it was 17-16 LSU. That's going to be the story. Felipe Franks, he didn't throw a touchdown pass last game, but he has thrown more touchdown passes in the first 5 than he did all last season.
Well, bear in mind the Gators get to play, Todd, for the 2nd year in a row because of Hurricane Matthew a couple of years ago, like you mentioned. 2nd year in a row at home. Swamp should be rocking in that one. Let's talk about USF. USF going all the way up to New England to play UMass in a game at Amherst, Massachusetts. The Bulls off of a bye week. 2 narrow wins over Illinois and East Carolina, a couple of suspect opponents. So now they've had the bye week. Charlie Strong knows the play's got to be better. And look, UMass may be 2-4, but they're dangerous offensively. Andrew Ford is their quarterback. He threw 4 touchdown passes in a loss last week to Ohio. But UMass has scored 40 or more points 3 times this season. They've lost to Boston College. They had another loss recently to Florida International where FIU rang up 60 points on them. But these guys can score. And so for Blake Barnett and the Bulls, you better be ready in a track meet. You better be on your game. Don't turn the ball over because UMass can put some points on the board. Oh, yeah, and it's FSU and Miami renewing the annual rivalry ACC showdown. This one at Hard Rock Stadium. And for the Canes, the turnover chain was back against North Carolina. Not 1, not 2, but 6 takeaways against the Tar Heels, 3 defensive touchdowns. So they had the turnover chain out big time 10 days ago. Florida State, again, 1 foot in the grave. Heck, they might have been all the way in the grave with dirt on them, and then they knocked the dirt off and came out of the grave with the DeAndre Francois touchdown pass in the final minute and a half of the game against Louisville last week. So now the Noles have a little bit of confidence. They go on the road. They are a 13-point underdog in this matchup at Miami. Will they have something for the Canes? Will they play with some emotion? Again, they haven't lost as a program in Miami in something like 5,000 days. Miami has not beaten Florida State now going on about 7 or 8 seasons down in South Florida. Let's see if this game going on again, 3:30 Eastern time, same time as the Gator game, same time as the USF game. Let's see if Florida State has something for them, or will N'Kosi Perry and the Canes roll in this matchup? Florida Football Insiders preview brought to you in part by Furman Nissan of Tampa and the Nissan Heisman House, home of the Heisman Trophy. Check out more on all the great deals throughout the football season at FurmanNissan.com. All right, Todd Grasley back with me, TJ Rives back with you, Florida Football Insiders. And we are looking forward to the NFL slate. Let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule. No Buccaneer game. They have the bye week this week. The 2 matchups are both road games, and that is Jacksonville at Kansas City, the Miami Dolphins at Cincinnati. Both of those early games at 1 o'clock. Going to be a very loud environment, especially for the Jaguars at Arrowhead Stadium. So, Todd, as we bring you back in here, again, Jacksonville, you can't say enough about the job they did against the Jets. After being poor on offense 2 weeks ago against Tennessee, they really bounced back last week, so you're looking for that momentum to continue.
And to win 26-12, and they're going to have to put up points against the Chiefs offense led by Pat Mahomes, the top quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, so that it's going to be exciting for that one. Dolphins, again, will be taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, and again, the Bengals, a huge win for them last week in Atlanta.
After 2 weeks at home, the Jacksonville Jaguars head to 4-0 Kansas City in what might be the best matchup this weekend of NFL games. The Chiefs are led by quarterback Pat Mahomes, who has a league-leading 14 touchdowns on the season. Bad news for Jags fans. Leonard Fournette is out, but good news, TJ Yeldon ready to play this week against Kansas City. The storyline might be the Jags defense versus the Chiefs' high-powered attack on offense. We talked about Mahomes, Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, but how about Tyreek Hill? Hill labeled himself last year at the Pro Bowl as the fastest man in the league. Said he could even take down sprinter Olympian Justin Gatlin, who was training 2 fields over. Jalen, ran for FSU. He did long jump.
Listen, I don't care if he ran for the Olympics. If anybody on the NFC, AFC, coaching staff want to race me, agency, Chiefs, anybody want to race me, come find me.
I got a curveball. Justin Gatlin trains back there at 3 o'clock in 100.
Well, tell him to come on this.
You could challenge him.
Yeah, man. Tell Akeem to leave the line up. Tell Akeem to leave the line up across from me right now. Akeem to leave the line up and let's race.
This week, it's trash talk with Jalen Ramsey, the shutdown corner. Says, hey, he won't make a play on me. We'll see on Sunday afternoon. The Miami Dolphins were humbled last week after a 38-7 thumping against the Patriots. This week, they will travel to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals, where they'll face Andy Dalton and A.J. Green. The storyline for the Dolphins will be Ryan Tannehill, Kenyon Drake, and that sputtering offense. Can they get it back on track in Cincinnati on Sunday?
You mentioned Kenyon Drake. He is like MIA. 3 carries, 3 yards last week against New England. He's not even talking to the media right now. He's that upset with what's going on with running the ball. And again, for the Bengals, a win last week in Atlanta. They are tied for the division lead. This will not be easy for the Dolphins. So both Florida teams on the road. How is Jacksonville going to do with that loud crowd in Kansas City? This is one of the loudest environments in the NFL. You think they're going to be able to handle it? Bortles is going to be able to hear?
I think it's going to be tough, and I think Blake Bortles in pressure situations is a little shaky. So it'll be a tough game for him. We saw him show up against the Patriots. If he can have a big bounce-back game, Mahomes versus Bortles, and he can have the better showing of the quarterbacks, Jacksonville has a chance.
This guy's going to be watching Tyreek Hill and the blazing fast speed against Jalen Ramsey. Those two have been trash talking earlier in the week. We'll see if that's the case. Are you ready for all the football this weekend?
Absolutely. From the college, from the undefeated UCF and USF, the 2 matchups between Florida and LSU and Miami and Florida State, and then the NFL. I mean, what a jam-packed week we have.
We're going to have a lot of fun. It's now October. We thank you for being with us. For Todd Grasley, I'm TJ Rives. Keep reading and watching here from FloridaFootballInsiders.com.